I thought I was in a relationship until I found out my relationship was nothing more than a plan meant to ruin my life. My name is Jake, and I thought I knew what betrayal felt like until I found out what real betrayal was. I grew up in a quiet town in Oregon, the kind of place where secrets are buried deep under the weight of family traditions and silent dinners. I was the oldest of three, the golden boy my parents loved to parade around. But behind closed doors, our family was a powder keg of resentment, lies, and carefully managed appearances. My dad, Daniel, was a pastor. My mom, Susan, played the perfect wife. And me? I played along until the truth shattered everything. I met Emily in college. She was sunshine in human form, freckles, wild red hair, and a laugh that made you forget how messed up the world was. We were together for 6 years. She stood by me through everything. My mom's cancer scare, my little brother going to rehab, me losing my job during the pandemic. When my kidneys started failing, she was the one who got tested without even telling me. She was a match. She was ready to give up a part of herself to save me. That's love, right? Except love doesn't survive secrets. And I had one. A stupid, selfish mistake that started with a fight, too much whiskey, and her best friend, Claire. It happened once. I thought I buried it. I thought I could carry the guilt silently, especially after Emily said she was going to donate. I was wrong. Claire told her everything the night before the surgery. The next morning, Emily didn't show up at the hospital. I woke up to a note that said, "I hope you live long enough to regret everything you did." That was it. No explanations, no yelling, just a cold exit. I tried calling, texting, begging. She blocked me on everything. The hospital said the surgery was postponed. I almost died 2 weeks later when my body gave up, and they had to put me on emergency dialysis. I was heartbroken, sure, but I didn't blame her. Not at first. I did cheat, even if it was one night. But then I started hearing things. My younger sister, Lily, slipped up during a phone call and said, "She always hated how much attention you got." I didn't understand what she meant. I started digging. Emily and Claire were closer than I ever realized. Too close. Old photos, shared vacations, matching tattoos. And then I found out Claire had a brother, Ryan, who used to date Emily back in high school. A quiet, forgettable guy who died in a car crash, the same week Emily and I first got together. The puzzle started to twist into something darker. Emily's grief had always been quiet, but now I wondered if I had been the replacement. A stand-in. And then it hit me. What if everything was connected? What if I wasn't just a guy who made a mistake, but a target? I hacked into Emily's old iCloud account. Don't ask how, and found saved drafts of messages never sent. One said, "He has no idea who Ryan was. He doesn't remember the crash. He doesn't know he killed my world." My stomach dropped. My freshman year of college, I was in a minor accident, rear-ended someone in the rain, filed the report, never thought about it again. Was that Ryan? The revenge wasn't about the cheating. That was just the trigger. The betrayal ran deeper than I ever imagined. She pretended to love me, built a life with me, offered to save me, then ripped it all away, knowing I'd unravel, knowing the guilt would eat me alive. Now I don't know what's real. I don't know who I am to anyone. My family? They've taken her side. My sister won't talk to me. My mom says I deserved a wake-up call. But this feels like more than punishment. It feels like a long-planned execution. And I still don't know what else she knows, or what she plans to do next. But I'm done playing the victim. I'm going to find the truth, every buried piece of it. And when I do, I'll show Emily what it feels like when someone you trusted holds your heart in their hand and decides to crush it slowly. I started with the police report from that night, the accident I barely remembered. I was 19, driving back from a party on a stormy night, headlights bouncing off the rain-slicked asphalt. I'd rear-ended a beat-up sedan at a red light. The guy inside said he was okay. We exchanged insurance info. I didn't even get a ticket. It was quick, nothing violent. Or so I thought. But the report said the driver's name was Ryan Carter. No middle name. I checked the high school yearbooks online. Ryan Carter, Jr., Varsity Track Drama Club. Died 2 weeks after my accident. The obituary said complications from a traumatic brain injury sustained in a motor vehicle accident. The same date. The same time. It was him. I stared at his picture for what felt like hours. He had Emily's smile. Not in a romantic way, but the same slant in the grin, the same sadness in the eyes. He was her brother. The accident didn't kill him on the spot. It left him with a head injury that slowly took his life. I didn't even go to the hospital. I didn't know. No one told me. But Emily knew. Claire knew. And they let me walk into their world like I hadn't destroyed theirs. I wanted to vomit. I tried to reach Claire. I used a burner number, sent a message pretending to be an old friend, asking to meet. She showed up at a coffee shop 2 towns over, looking tired and nervous, constantly checking the door like someone was watching her. When she saw me, her eyes went wide. "Jake," she whispered, already reaching for her purse. "Sit," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "I'm not here to fight. I just need answers." She hesitated, then slowly sat down. "You lied to me," I said. "You and Emily. You played me for years." Claire didn't deny it. She just looked out the window and said, "Ryan was everything to her. After the accident, after you just drove away, she wasn't the same." "I didn't know Claire," I snapped, fists clenched under the table. "You think I would have just walked away if I knew someone died? You think I'm that kind of monster?" Her eyes finally met mine. "It doesn't matter what I think. Emily made her choice. And you gave her a reason to pull the trigger when you cheated." "That wasn't revenge," I said. "That was execution. She wanted me dead." "No," Claire said, shaking her head. "She wanted you to feel what she felt. To wake up and realize you destroyed someone who loved you. She never planned to donate the kidney. That was all part of the illusion. She just wanted you to hope again, then fall apart. And it worked. I had fallen hard. I was just a pawn in a grief-fueled game she'd been playing for years. But now the rules had changed. She had made one mistake. She underestimated what I'd do once I knew the truth. After Claire left, I sat in my car for hours, trying to piece together my next move. That night, I went back home and opened a box my mom had kept in the attic. Old photos, VHS tapes, letters. One envelope stood out. It was addressed to me, but never mailed. Inside was a letter in my dad's handwriting. "Jake, if you're reading this, then something finally caught up to us. You've always been smart. Always asked the right questions. But there's something you never knew about that accident." My blood ran cold. The letter ended there. No explanation. Just an unfinished thought. What else was hidden? I'm starting to think Emily's revenge wasn't just about Ryan. I think my family knew something. Something they've kept buried. My dad retired from the church 2 months after the accident, moved us across town, told me to forget that night ever happened. I thought it was just guilt. Now I'm starting to think it was fear. And if my own family helped bury the truth, they might be just as guilty as I am. I didn't sleep that night. I kept reading the half-written letter over and over, hoping it would magically complete itself, give me some kind of clue. But it didn't. And the more I stared at it, the more I realized my dad wanted me to find it. He left it up there for a reason. He never finished it because he was scared or stopped. The next morning, I drove to my parents' house. My dad was in the garage, fixing a lawnmower that didn't need fixing. When he saw me, his hands froze. "You found the letter," he said without looking at me. "I did," I said. "You want to tell me the rest?" He sat down on the workbench, wiped his hands with a rag, and let out a long sigh like he'd been carrying this weight for years. "That night, the accident," he said. "The other car wasn't supposed to be there. I told you not to drive. You'd had 2 beers, maybe 3. You weren't drunk, but you were emotional, distracted. Your mother and I decided to handle the report quietly. The boy, Ryan, his parents were from the church. I went to them, begged them not to press charges. We paid their hospital bills, made donations. When he died, we paid for the funeral. I stepped back like he'd hit me. You knew I killed him and you just covered it up? We thought we were protecting you," he said. "We thought it was over. Until Emily showed up. I could barely breathe." "What?" "She came to church 6 months after Ryan died. Sat in the back, listened to every sermon. Eventually, she joined the youth group, then the community outreach. Then your mother hired her as a volunteer assistant. You don't remember that. She said we met in college." "She lied," he said. "She picked you, Jake. She got close, worked her way in. We realized too late who she was. And by then, you were already in love." My knees gave out, and I sat on the concrete floor, heart pounding, mind reeling. Emily didn't just want revenge. She embedded herself into my entire life. She learned my habits, my past, my family. For years, she smiled at my mom, laughed with my sister, kissed me goodnight, while planning to destroy me from the inside out. But what haunted me most was that I still loved her. I drove to her apartment, half hoping she wouldn't be there, half praying she would. When she opened the door, she didn't look surprised. Just tired. Worn down. like she'd already played her final move and didn't care what happened next. I know everything, I said quietly. Ryan. The plan. My dad's cover-up. All of it. She nodded. I figured you would. Eventually. Why didn't you just tell me? Why lie for so long? Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. Because telling you wouldn't have changed anything. Ryan would still be gone. My parents would still be broken. And you would have still gone on with your perfect little life. So you decided to take that life from me. No, she said softly. I decided to show you what it felt like to lose everything you thought was real. I stood there, unable to speak. There was nothing left to say. No apology that could fix it. No revenge that could reverse time. We were two people standing in the ashes of a war we didn't know we were fighting until it was already lost. I loved you, I said finally. I know, she whispered. And that's what made it work. I walked away. I didn't slam the door. I didn't scream. I just left. Because staying meant holding on to a ghost. And I'd already buried enough. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, surrounded by the wreckage of a life built on lies. Hers, mine, my family's. But for the first time in years, I wasn't in denial. I wasn't pretending everything was fine. I knew the truth. And it broke me, but it also set me free. Emily vanished after that. Moved out of town. Claire disappeared with her. My parents sold the house and moved to Arizona. My sister won't return my calls. I lost everything, but not in the way Emily intended. She wanted me to suffer. And I did. But I also grew. I started therapy. I wrote everything down, every lie, every truth, every scar. I donated to road safety charities, visited trauma centers, met with families who'd lost loved ones in accidents like mine. I still carry the guilt. I always will. But I'm not running from it anymore. Some betrayals are designed to break you. Others are designed to rebuild you. Emily's did both. And I'll never forget her. But I'll never forgive her either. Please like, share, and subscribe for more stories.